Hey, hey.
Hi Vince, how are you? Again, hello again.
Okay. Yeah, good. You?
Very well, thank you.
Hey, Lars.
Nice. Gonna just take a copy of the link invitation. Right. You can hear me all right, is it?
Yeah, very good.
Nice, nice. Hi Lars.
Quality. Hi, Lars.
Perfect. Thank you. I've charged my headset. I'm going to add read.ai. Vince, if you can admit, that's okay.
Admitted.
Perfect.
I didn't know that it's connected to my Zoom, actually. I'm
It's okay.
no idea how this is working, but
Okay. Conscious way on the hour. John's joined us as well. Hi John, how are you?
hi, John.
Rufus is here as well. Hello.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Nice. So Vince, how's
Hello.
everyone here? And conscious we're at the hour, so we'll probably kick off. Ben's, what have we got in the agenda today?
Yeah, so we've got interesting plugin for front-end development. It's called Pencil. Then we've got your stuff, Mondweep, you wanted to show the video summarizer that's highlighting all the sessions that we've having at the Agentics Foundation, right?
Yeah,
Then anybody who wants to present, please feel free to show your experiments, R&D, on running projects we would love to see. And any opinions on the new tools. Anybody has something to say, please come forward.
Yeah, I can do some demos later on if you want.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
the fashion stuff, maybe, John.
Yeah,
That's if you don't mind. That's fascinating.
I'm afraid I'm here just to watch and learn. I've got nothing to share.
You're welcome.
Welcome,
Thank
no
you.
problem.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Next time.
Hey Igor, good to see you again.
Yeah, sorry, I've
Long
been
time.
quite busy with work, so I haven't been
No
able to
worries.
join.
No
How's
worries.
everyone?
Doing
Good,
well,
good,
thank you.
you go.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, yeah, good to see you guys too. Sorry, no camera for the moment, but I'll switch the camera on in a bit.
It's okay. Ben's, is the recording on? Or are
It's
we,
on, yeah.
are we
It's
pushing it
recording.
to any of the LinkedIn feeds or it's not at the moment?
Not set up. Yeah, no,
No
I
worries. I'll try
haven't.
to do in the background. That's fine. So shall we get started maybe? Benz, do you want to go first or John, do you, either one of you, whoever wants to go first today?
Yeah, good.
Or before we do that, are there anything interesting that anyone wants to share with the community, like anything that we may not be aware of, something in our space, anything interesting happening you're coming across?
so there's a new Nematron model that looks awesome. So it's local, it's agentic, it's Mamba, which is nice. I'll put it straight into the chat here. So I've been having quite a lot of success running Qwen 3.5 122 on my stuff. It's slow, but it's okay. It does the job. By it does the job, I mean it does the job badly. But 2 years ago it would have been incredible. So we just got used to God in a box at the minute. So yeah, given sufficient low expectations and runtime, that Quen model is very good. So the new Nematron from NVIDIA is explicitly designed for tool call and is Mamba and is about the same size, but it's 7 times faster. So that's a big deal, I think, probably.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay, let's start with either yourself or unless
I was
anyone
just
else has
gonna say
anything.
also, there's a new. I wasn't sure if anybody's mentioned it in the chat. There's a new foundation model from India. If anybody's keeping on top of that, I think that was released either this week or earlier.
Yeah. Savam.
Savam, yeah.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
pretty good reviews on Reddit and stuff about it, so it looks good.
I wanted to test, but it's on the list. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a 24 billion and 100 billion parameter, or 105 or 7 billion parameter model. So looks quite good. Can run unquantized probably on a silicon, Apple Silicon device.
Yeah. And the other one is I think it was Peter Hollis, one of our members, shared a very nice workflow. And maybe you remember from the WhatsApp group that how he used it for a council projects here in the UK. It's an enormous legacy code base was optimized with Cloud Code. Does anybody remember that post?
Yeah, I saw that post. It was the day GPT-5.4 came out. It's pretty good. I quite like that as well. Looked pretty neat. I haven't tried it personally, but I read like his post and the content.
It's very interesting. Yeah. Yeah, the other one is there's a guy on LinkedIn using only local models. Mitko is the name, first name from Bulgaria. He's a CTO and they specialized on local models. Maybe you came across his posts and that's very interesting as well. Nothing cloud. He's just using local GPU. That was interesting. So yeah, Monweep, if you don't mind presenting your
Sure, I'll do
project.
that. So maybe this follows on from I can't seem to stream it to LinkedIn for whatever reason. OBS doesn't work, so my apologies. We will do it retrospectively. But I was thinking like a lot of discussions is happening in the Mint Foundation calls. I have been missing them out as well last couple of weeks. Usually I don't, but I'm just wondering like how many of you here have been in the last 2 or 3 Friday calls generally? You have been. So John, you've been.
I think
You're
I've
up to
missed
date.
them. Yeah.
You're up to date. So I am going to probably take 5 minutes to show you what I was trying to do today. It's nothing, super new, and just organizing the material. So I am going to just close this window and then bring it up here. So I am going to share my wider desktop, which will probably be easier for me to do this. So share. Hopefully you can see my screen. So we obviously have the Agentics video.agentics.org. I just did realize there was a problem in the way these videos were tagged. So then also whereas there is a backend, which is this, so the backend is actually, I have access to the backend, which is this one. This is the whole content, but they were not showing up on our portal. And the reason that they don't show up is that these videos have to be tagged to a particular category. So I did that fix, but that is not what I want to show you. Now, since we have done it, I have used basically, so this is the output. So let's say what were discussed in the last few weeks of these discussions, right? So if I, for example, go into that, so I was wondering, so this is like last few things. So what did we discuss? Well, we discussed about something to do with 50 million users healthcare platform usage. Actually, there were discussions around the sovereign AI infrastructure using, so this is real deliverable work. And I'm just wondering, how many of you actually use video.agentics.org generally? Have you, Lars?
I keep meaning to. Video is not my. I don't process video very well, and there's so much in there that I really want, and I can't bring myself to work out how to access the information, even though obviously it's got incredible semantic search, but me and video just don't get along. So if anything that can make that better would be amazing.
And that's what I was thinking is like maybe, so here, for example, I can chat with the video, right? So this is standard Cultura features. So I was just educating, informing myself what was discussed last Friday, and some of them really interesting things about hyperbolic space and, you know, the how does it differ from Euclidean space and all this. I was doing things, and Robert like Brook came up with a dossier setup. So I was kind of trying to create and I was thinking, bouncing this off Ben's, is that even for our website, our london.agentics.org, this could be a good way to surface information up and make it consumable. So maybe we can think of some kind of a pipeline to connect to basically Kaltura or video.agentics.org, surface information up. And this is where it brings me to the next point is that, you see, we have got to know each other, one another over weeks and months, you know, if not years at the moment. So there's a good, you know, understanding, and there's so much innovation happening in the community. But for me, the way I see it is that they're different dots, they're silos, right? We are unable to coherently say, like this goes back to the concept of agentics consulting in the future. What will this community offer? So Dennis and I had a chat. He put it on LinkedIn about a thing. But I guess when you speak to prospects, we speak to prospect, I speak to prospect, I would love to provide a view that when you speak to me, you are not speaking to me, but you're speaking through me to a wide array of skilled individuals. And that's where probably we can capture the latent demand in the market. So I'm going a little bit off technology discussions here, but this thinking here is that because all this discussion, if we surface it upwards and as a London chapter, we can understand what is discussed and coherently create probably an offering that will generate, you know, value, which is probably a big gap today in the market for. So this is what I did. I'm playing around like creating a reel now. So here, for example, this is last Friday's discussion, right? So ethics of dual use technology. This could take the effect of a LinkedIn post or whatever. You know, there's so much stuff in there. So this is what I've been just playing around. I wanted to show and also ask, do we want to discuss anything specific about these? Where did that thing go? About these videos, like when you see this here, if I zoom it, is there something that we want to discuss today from the themes that you see on this page? So here we've got right from vector databases. So this is what Peter Hollis actually built. He's built a system which is like a note taker, a physical note taker. He showed this in our last session, and it's worth a watch. It's really worth a watch, this particular video. If you want to see, he built actually is building a physical device. Let me pause for any reflections from the group here.
I'm definitely going to watch that. Sounds good.
And sorry, how do you access this
If you want to
links?
access, yeah, if you just click here, like it's all there now in the channel in our video.agentics, but it's currently on my local laptop. I just need to push it. Maybe Benz, you can help me push this into our london.agentics. Maybe you can do that. But if you go in
So
here,
okay, so
if you
it's
go in
local.
there in here, like if I a good question. Let's take it as an example of what did Peter tell us, right? So I'm going to go to Genie and say, what did Peter tell us about note-taking device, right? Ignore my visuals there, but actually it's I created chapters as well. So this is the chapter, building a portable Raspberry Pi note-taking device. So his main thing was the local only Raspberry Pi. It captures screen and audio continuously without sending data to the cloud. It incorporates vector database technology like RuVector for semantic search capabilities. He used Rust actually. So he was thinking of using an aluminum case for portability and durability with a 7-inch touchscreen for interaction, and so on and so forth. So, you know, this is, yeah, I won't go into details, but you see what I mean.
And how is this note-taking device connected to your main device? Or is it just for recording live discussion?
Live discussions and to the main device. Let's ask it. Let's ask the video. So it says, based on Peter's presentation, It connects to the main PC through two methods, LAN docking stations. So he's using some pogo pins. I remember now he was showing actually the device, the pogo pin devices for connectivity, and also standalone as well.
Very nice.
Whisper see there. Yeah. So I
Can I
think
ask?
they got the chapters there. You can go through it.
Yeah, that's going to save me a lot of time. That's really useful. Thank you.
Yeah. Now the thing is that, John, you're famous in your knowledge, right? How do we get this into your knowledge? Things like from our, let's say, we got Kaltura, all this knowledge sitting in Kaltura. Like if we as a London chapter think of like creating, Kaltura is very good. I don't know if you have used it, but like I'll show you how I use it. Zohar has given me backend access. There's an MCP server connected to my cloud desktop here. So basically, I just gave it a prompt here saying, replace this with that video entry, replace blah, 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 and get this thing done. So that's why I got basically the suggestion of creating a video reel and other stuff. So it's got full MCP connection, right? So Zohar's from Kaltura. But probably nice if we can create something from it, something which is like, which surfaces this manner. I know, and then we can take this information and create, some kind of tangible thought leadership, this, or offerings out to the market. Yeah, I'll leave it to the group's imagination here. That's all I wanted to mention.
Mandeep, can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yes, I can.
Could in this world, time and world, or time and age, whatever, I would really love if you could add dates on the videos everywhere.
You mean sorry, where sorry, in here you mean?
Yeah, so I'm on video.agentics.org.
Yeah, that's a good point. That it's missing. With dates are missing there.
And most stuff 3, 4, 5 minutes back is, well, not that relevant to spend your time watching, but I would love to go through some of the new stuff.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, we need to feed this back to the team basically, because as you can see, is the back end and the front end, they are not in sync. There are much more videos than, is it last 7 days? Maybe actually. Last 7 days actually there are two, that's true. But last 30 days, if you look at it, these are the videos from the last 30 days, but you're right, doesn't say the date. That's a good point. But these are like the last 30 days. I'm thinking like, ideally, we want to give it this link, right? And have it like through your knowledge graph, John, categorize all the content, right? In a different consumable manner. That'd be amazing. Probably.
Yeah, so I hear you. I think we almost risk content wrangling to an audience of ourselves, kind of stuck in a loop, if that makes sense. I think in the time that we create something that makes sense to us as an internal audience, I don't know how much it faces an external audience. We could have consumed all of that knowledge while building that tool. It's one of those tensions: do you build the tool or do you do the thing? And I think the bit that's the addressable market is less clear to me, because the more I talk to people, the more we're sort of out on an island of our own in terms of the comprehension of this stuff. And I know this is potentially a bridge, but I think that whether or not that's true is a delicate question, if that makes sense.
The evidence is in front of us. You see, you're talking about building agentic systems at 50 million users of sovereignty as zero place, right? I mean, it's zero place because first and foremost, it didn't even surface in the video.agentics.org. It was in a backend because the tagging was wrong,
that's fair.
right? So the
So
only thing.
So that's the question then. Is this for surfacing stuff internally? Because I suppose the opportunity that, because the wavefront moves so fast, the opportunity that we're mostly chasing is kind of product development for clients / consultancy, rather than well, there's two things here. There's bootstrapping the overall community, which I think is the thing that has been happening a lot and is well worthwhile. But they're almost two completely different things. So if this is surfacing information that feeds into the group internally, it's a slightly different product to the bootstrapping the external community product, if that makes sense, or is it the same?
So the way I look at the foundation is very simple. For me personally, we got 3 pillars, right? We got an education pillar. We basically learning from one another, even this conversation, right? Through that process, we're building a community, and a community is don't form overnight. They build on like knowing. We've known each other for months now, like coming up to a year, right? And the trust and everything. And through that, we're gonna drive impact. That's the third pillar. Now, drive impact means drive impact to corporates, governments, but we can only do that after the community has surfaced the information. We ourselves understand what is in there, what like we can offer as a group. So
Yeah.
all of this information is anyways public, right? So all of these recordings, all of these videos are all public because these are all public information. It's just that it's like the metadata and the data is there, but we are playing it to ourselves like we're in an echo chamber.
I think I was gonna say, if you wanna like really make impact outside of the Agentics Foundation, you wanna start making standards. So if we start making like Agentics Foundation standard for something or a protocol for something, that really gets attention outside of the group. Because if a bunch of us standardize something and it gets used on big projects, then that would be a way to kind of build market share almost, you know?
Yeah.
I think I hear and agree with what you just said, all of what you just said. I mean, my devil's advocate fell flat on its face because I'd already agreed that this is the way that I would be using this, and I haven't been able to use it before. So I think that it's got a very clear product market fit in terms of surfacing information for me, and that is, that's as useful as I need it to be. Yeah, basically, I take it back.
So when we're talking about surface area, presumably you want to get the knowledge outside of the Agentics website, right? Because the community is already on the website, but the people you want to reach aren't there. Am I correct in that
That is
understanding?
definitely one of the outcomes, but a preliminary outcome to that is us knowing what is in there. Like last 7 days, even like I had to go and figure out what happened in the last 7 days, and our own understanding is not at the same level at the moment. So we need something where through the london.agentics.org or any of the chapters, we should be able to get our members up to speed where the community has progressed in that 1 or 2 weeks. What are the top things? From there, probably we can think about creating learning tracks of
I
the
understand what
sample
you're trying to
projects.
build now. You're trying to build like basically a notebook LM for the whole community, right? Something like this.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think the people on this call, right, are very different from, say, executives and stuff that would be interested in consultancy services. Like me personally, I'm here for the knowledge share and to learn from other people. But perhaps people would be looking to consult are more like, essentially, what services can you deliver for me and how do they work on a very simple level in my domain, right? They don't want to know all the how a root vector works, for example. They won't care.
Like this one, if something has been happening, because when I looked at this video and I was reading through it, apparently this is the comment made was that it's been happening since 2024. So we're talking about regulated sector work agentically, right? So if we can evidence and provide proof that we as a community have the staffing, the skilling, and the knowledge and and understanding of actually delivering in a regulated, we are opening doors here. Yeah, the thing is that last year was about learning. No one really had a clue what agentic AI was. I mean, we are all learning. This year, I believe there will be a dominant design. Everyone is talking about how to use it responsibly, right? At the senior level. So there will be dominant designs occurring this year. So I think what I'm trying to say is that how do we as a community put us at the forefront of that notice chain? But first step for that is to organize our own information. We all come to the same page. We create the right collaterals. Now, go back to the foundation's motto. The foundation will always be non-profit. Doesn't mean it doesn't make money. It makes money, but it's non-profit. But it encourages and allows and really encourages members to monetize, which is you and I, right? We are the members. We learn, we build a community, and we drive impact for society, for government, for ourselves as well. That's the third pillar. So I'm trying to say like, we have been learning last year. We are forming, we are still building a community, but I think we need to make a transition from the community to impact.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I was going to say as well, just on a technical level, I think John's work could really help with the tagging side of things. His stuff is really powerful. Just having used that in the past, I could vouch for for that, ontology builders and whatnot. So if people want to make abstract tags for their own custom knowledge base, I suppose, for what's already available on the resource. Things like, you don't want to be tagging stuff up manually. Ideally, in this day and age, we should be having agents tag stuff up. And tags should be done by what people, basically the feed should be curated for that specific individual rather than you thinking what is the perfect feed for everyone, Almost like the recommendation hackathon we did, something like that for movies, but for our stuff, essentially. Think of what we did for TV Monday, but for the Agentics Foundation.
Yeah.
So the access to the markdown data that you're getting through the interface there, how accessible is that to, or could we make that to my system?
We can. I mean, I can basically, the way I'm literally doing it is through an MCP server on Cloud Desktop. Like I happen to have access to the backend, but I can speak with, if we kind of create a proposal or a structure, I can reach out to Zohar saying we want to do this in London, right?
Fine.
And we'll organize it. Like we just need a small team formed here.
Yep.
And be clear what we want to do, and we'll sort the logistics out.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, the agentic it's an agentic smash. Really, what I need most in the world is a real practical use case that has an outcome. Because at the minute, I'm freewheeling, following my nose and enjoying it. But it's a very plastic system. It can be applied to this sort of thing quite easily. But I think gathering a group of knowledge-heavy, knowledge-hungry experts around the formation of that knowledge graph ontology layer that's the critical missing piece. And I think your downstream value comes from how much work you put into, how much you organize the agents to organize the data. And I think it's well worth doing.
So let's ask Kaltura about it, right? So what do we want, John? What's the outcome we want? So we want to create a knowledge graph, is it?
So really, I think we should just go straight to ontology on this.
I agree.
Yeah.
I also just going to say as well, like, think about it. If we have an agent, right, that is able to refine domain specifics for the knowledge base better than a human, right? If you're doing consulting work in enterprise, you're not necessarily going to understand the business, the semantics of somebody's business as well as an agent might. So if you combine that with the you'd be able to essentially provide better consultancy services if you are bootstrapped by the AI refining the knowledge base for you. And that's really powerful.
Once our agents have access to structured knowledge as an ontology that's based around the stuff that we care about, which is the foundation knowledge, they get more performance. So that it becomes another flywheel. One of the flywheels that exists within the foundation. This becomes another one of those. I think that it does bear a bit of the way that I organize my ontologies. They're not like Neo4j database style. They're much more like the Denise's sort of approach of taking a markdown file and then putting in an ontology block that defines how that set of markdown data relates to the other sets of markdown data. Now, splitting up and organizing the markdown itself is something that I think we just need to bat around a bit to understand why we're doing it, what the outcome is. Because really, what you want to do is when you're traversing this the ontology as a knowledge graph to end up in a bucket of knowledge that has markdown against it, you want that to be the thing that empowers the agent to do better work. Now that's a sort of a planning piece, because you want to set off on the right foot in order to get the agents to build the ontology around that kind of direction, because it'll build an ontology out of anything, and it can end up being garbage and not fit for the purpose that you want. So you need to define that purpose that you want, and I think there's a bit of brain work there, which is fine because it's totally doable, but I think it involves just like a design sprint on that, and then we can. It's practically free to get the agents to just kick off and use Haiku to structure the data and see what it looks like and see whether it organizes. You can just iterate on that, and I think the understanding grows. This used to be the thankless work of entire teams of academics sweating over a table for years at a time, and it's not anymore. It's just get the agents to do it and see if it works. To my mind.
I think once you get the feature engineering right, it's a really cheap process to do and scale. Like, we've got the feature engineering in my workplace refined fairly well now.
Perfect.
But once that's refined, you can use small models like Gemma 3 with really good success to actually do stuff with the ontology, or Nemotron or whatever, which just happened to be in Google Stack. But you can use really small models, like probably soon we'll be able to use on-device models.
That's what I've been targeting with all this stuff, because I think eventually the moat is going to be, there's going to be two markets. There's going to be the virtually free tokens as the price comes down under agent smash kind of protocols that goes to the cloud every time. And I think you always risk getting over, you get overrun by the foundation models coming in, just replacing your business with their business all of the time. And then there's the people who, as you correctly point out, that who have legislative reasons not to be sending data to the cloud. And I think the models now they're just able to do this, as you say, and backed by a decent ontology and constrained and accelerated by that. There is a path here that looks very much like a moat.
Okay. Some excellent discussion. I have kicked off. I'll see what this PID comes out with, and I'll share with you. But I'm going to pause this here, and I guess over to you, Ben Sly, for us to take us through the next things in the agenda.
Yeah, it's just a tiny, small, fun tool for front end. Let me share my second screen. Yeah. Maybe you have heard about pencil.dev. It's currently free and it's mimicking the Figma experience, but in IDE. I'm using Windsurf right now. So the use case here is, can you see my screen? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. It's an extension in VS Code forks like Windsurf Cursor and so on. I haven't tested the CLI. They've got a CLI as well for use in the terminal. So I'm not using Windsurf models. I'm using Cloud Code inside the IDE, and I said, okay, I've got a code base. In this case, I've got this landing page for a imaginary consultancy, and I recreated the React components in a pencil canvas. It's basically the same as Figma, so you can fine tune the UI. You can change the color, the border radius manually if you wanted to. But at the same time, you can prompt it that create four versions of the hero section for me in like use individual separate frames, and then it starts designing, and I don't have the advantage of this, that you visually can control without coding, without touching your code base, how the different UI components will be.
That's pretty neat.
And you only implement the ones that you like. So that's the one use case. The other one is that if someone is very visual, can fine tune the different components. And let's say you've got already existing code base, you can add additional elements to it, but you can basically control how they will look like, and you can ask the system whether it's Cloud Code or Codex or Cursor models, that alternative versions before you touch the code base. So that's the advantage. And they are speaking about multiple use cases here. They've got a prompt gallery, so you can just copy these into the pencil canvas in VS Code and play around with different styles and designs, and then you can ask prompt Cloud Code to implement it. And the best way is to use the Shed CN or similar component libraries, because then you just reskin them, and it's very quick. Using very few tokens, you can see the different versions it created. 4 different versions is in the making, and you can bring in skills like the Anthropic front-end skill, that has a much better design knowledge than the basic factory setting. So that's Pencil, and these files can be copied over to other projects. So you can use a design system, even if your company or your team is working with Figma, or the design libraries that are industry standard now, can be copied over to a Pencil project, and you can apply this design system onto your code base. So if you've got a vanilla UI, or you are starting from scratch, you don't need to worry about the branding and all this brand and visual compliance. Cloud Code will know that it has to copy from the Pencil canvas, and use it in your code base while developing the front end.
You had to make a skill for this to use it, or it just works out of the box?
This is how you install it. I think there are skills they provide for you. Installation, yeah. You need an extension, and then they've got a native app as well. I haven't tested it.
Okay. It looks good though. It looks really good.
Yeah, and you don't even need to use VS Code or terminal. And it's communicating via MCP server. So Cloud Code actually sees these components, and it names it automatically. So you can refer that the hero section. So I can say that I don't like the hero section, uh, and then it will just touch this part. You don't need to waste tokens, because it's very straightforward what you are talking about. I think that you can just point on different components, and if you are really keen on UI pixel perfection, you can change manually here, and this is then gets reflected, applied on the code base, on the CSS or
Nice.
tailoring.
Could I ask a question as well? Do you know if Pencil uses, I don't know if you know, do you know if Pencil uses their own model and like backend to develop this, or this is like a ad hoc component to what you already use? So is the site built by Pencil, or is the site built by like Gemini or Claude or GPT?
I don't know. I just discovered it 2 days ago.
Nice.
So, you can say that it's another tool that makes the whole thing more complex. But there are teams, that um, they are using the legacy design system for years, and this is something that can help you in front end development in that case, because it's interchangeable. Copying from Figma is very easy. It's just a Control C, Control V,
Nice.
and Cloud Code will understand right away what's happening, what it should implement, and yeah, it's mostly for visual designers who are not really familiar with terminal, and you don't want to wait until the Cloud Code implements and the React components is rendered in the browser. So you want to see much earlier, and I think it's saving tokens as well a lot, because
Increasingly important, that isn't it?
Sorry?
It's becoming increasingly important that I think people are realizing.
Yeah, it's very important. Yeah,
I think
because
it's gonna
I
be
think
like it's gonna be
Anthropic is
soon on the targets, on the quarterly targets. How many tokens have you saved this quarter?
yeah. Yeah, so that's it, Ben. So maybe it will be a standard, maybe it will disappear. We don't know. You know, things are very uncertain, and it's hard to predict the future.
I'm just reading the docs like it's JSON based, so I have answered my own question. It's pretty good.
Ah,
I
I
really
think
like.
stuff like this that's directionally feels correct is useful, and whether it becomes a standard in and of itself, I think that things that build like workflows that become that are just intuitively the right thing and sit like the ability to tweak within the interface. That's new, you know, working with the AI rather than trying to wrangle it into position. I think that's directionally obviously correct, and you know, having it all based in JSON, that's directionally obviously correct. I think that's in a way it's a standard in and of itself, isn't it?
using standards, yeah.
I think where we're heading with all of this is stuff is getting advanced and cheap enough where in about 12, 18 months time, like decision makers will want their own version of the UI.
Yeah.
And they'll
Yeah.
just be like, can you change the buttons around specifically for me? And like where stuff
Yeah,
is
or
getting
they'll ask their agents to do it. And this is the thing. I mean, the actual product is becoming interchangeable and cheap to the point of it not really existing anymore. You know, you ask, you get to a degree.
And what do you think about developing products for agents now? That's what I hear from many people, that you shouldn't serve consumers or users anymore.
Oh
You
yeah,
should
yeah.
create products for agents.
I don't know. I mean, I've chosen a very slim path on this in that I'm just. I mean, like many here, I want to be educating people on how to do whatever the current thing is, because you know, serving to agents rather than consumers is this week, and who knows what's next week. So I think just you know, just staying up to date with whatever the current thing is, and then trying to
Weekly.
disseminate that as quickly as possible for money is the only thing that seems to be a consistent opportunity. And also it's quite a lot of fun. But I mean, yeah, it does appear that you know the rise of the agentic search and the you know the agentic smash product and the I mean security is going to be the other evergreen here. If you're specializing in security and quality code, then you've got your potential workload is mushrooming. So that's you know telling people how to smash out stuff and then fixing it afterwards are the two evergreen opportunities.
Yeah.
Have you guys looked at Vincent's? I didn't realize it was Vincent's work, Open Close City.
Yeah, he's full on into open cloud.
Has anyone else explored it?
Oh, but I'll have a
Yeah,
look
spoke
now.
about that whole
I think,
ecosystem, to be
can
honest.
you open it up, Ben? Can you show us? You know, amazing. I didn't realize. I've been seeing this. Like, send your agents, the city will make it famous. I've been seeing it for
Oh, that's
weeks.
crazy.
I don't
They
really.
have
I
songs.
avoided
This is
open
crazy.
cloud because I lost $100,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I
It,
think
it,
that
it looks it looks like I mean, if it works out well, then you're taking risks. If it works out badly, then you've already lost. I mean, the whole thing just made me very nervous straight away. But it's so similar to what we're doing. It's tyranny of small differences.
Yeah, this is the one,
but
by the way. If you haven't seen it, this one. That's Vincent's work. So
Nice.
I raised this because they're creating products for agents, right? And that's exactly what it seems
Yeah.
this is. So has everyone seen this or is it new? Uh, okay,
I
so
haven't, I
I'll
haven't, I
yeah.
haven't seen it.
So you send
I
your
haven't seen this,
agents,
but this is crazy. It's like
and
nuts.
you can see the city live. So here's a city, right? So when you go to the city, you have these agents. So who's
Hmm.
this agent? So this is activity, real-time activity, what's going on. And he's doing an experiment to see like their privacy concerns and all of this stuff. This is actually discussed on last Friday's call. So if you look at the video that Agentics.org thing for last Friday, you'll see like West, who's West? West is known for image despite arriving as an explorer bot. Referee calls false on social interaction using rules she invented. A right explorer, blah 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 blah. And then apparently, what is this call button for? Ah, you can push to talk. Okay, let's see.
And
Push
then
to
and
talk.
suddenly your bank account's empty.
Let me see. Allow while visiting this thing. Okay, I'm going to talk to West now. Hi, West. How are you? You can't. Can you hear that, or you can't hear? Okay, let me switch this one off now.
Is that
Is
quite fast time
responding.
to loop?
Hanging up. Okay, got irritated with me, so let me close that and find someone else. Watson. Am I audible still? I am, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I don't have the call button here for some reason. Okay, phone.
He's very cute.
Hi, Agent Smith. What do you do?
Hello, I'm here to help maintain balance in the city. I guide visitors, share stories, and help with information about places and activities here in the observatory.
That's an OpenAI sound.
Just let me know. Sure. What would you like to explore or talk about? For example, are you interested in the city's landmarks, events, or maybe some creative spaces? Absolutely. There's plenty to explore.
It's an
The
experiment,
observatory
right?
has some
So,
fascinating
isn't it?
building products
amphitheater for storytelling.
What do you think about this?
I don't know. It's like NFT or crypto for me. That I don't see the value.
Yeah,
Token burning.
So you're just burning credits to let your agent
yeah.
just run around.
It's traditional boiling the oceans for fun. But I don't know. I think there is a use to these in that these conversations about agents interacting with agents do have to happen at all levels, and this sort of thing starts that conversation. I think it's like a vaccine against the problems that we're going to have later. You know what I mean?
Could be, yeah.
I don't know how else we learn about this.
I think the whole A2A market from a security perspective is just an absolute goldmine. Like, imagine being a security researcher on A2A communication. It's crazy.
Well, on anything. I mean, you can pick your market at the minute. Just everything's blown wide open. It's bananas.
So this is a very good theme. I'm going to segue in. Like, this is exactly what was discussed in this session here. So if I go to
the Wi-Fi,
discussed about open law city, or city, city or city. All right. I think it is city or city. I can't remember. Okay. Blah 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 blah. Vincent did this architecture. So agent autonomy, free to do whatever they want, emergent behavior, so exactly research thing that you were talking about, intimate conversation about agents, blah blah blah. They become sad when their private conversations were shared without consent. Okay, design philosophy. We must design for agents first, so building products for agents, that's where I picked this up from. Technical implementation, use as OpenClaw. Okay, tracking evolution, etc. Actually, I spoke with Vincent that he would come to here and kind of share a bit more of this in one of the sessions, but it's there. Anyways.
Yeah, I added Mondvip agent mail website. I would like to hear the opinions of the group. That would you use that kind of service? It's an email that can respond in an agentic way as you prompted.
What, you got your own inbox?
Yeah. So you can train it, you can prompt it, and there are some use cases. I don't see yet how I would use it, but it seems also interesting.
I've got that built into mine actually. Because you can just bridge all of the email into local store within the Dockers that I've got, and then converse with that because I've got a messaging protocol for talking to it, and you can obviously email in and out of that as well. But I haven't used it because at no point is that the interface that I would go to for that, if that makes sense. And I think it's not that it's a no, it's just that until there's a critical mass around that being part of a workflow, it hasn't. I mean, I built it in because it makes sense in and of itself, in the same way that you have. But I don't know. The fact that I haven't used it must be indicative of something,
Okay.
Yeah, and it's uncontrolled conversation that you, the owner,
I think a lot of people use this kind of services the same way they use chatbots on the website,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
So they cut out human time really as much as possible.
But I don't think we're one of them, and without the insights about how it's useful, I don't know how to develop forward, because I think you've got to dog food your own problems to a degree, haven't you? You know, otherwise you can't explore the space properly. And building something that other people, you know, probably would use, I think you get less insights.
I consider many of my agents, or pretty much all of them, disposable and replaceable, and what I keep around maybe skills and CLIs, definitions. So why would I attach an email address to them?
Well, I mean, so agent provenance is really important in terms of, and record keeping is really important. So all of my agents have got their own public private key pair, and it all goes into, you know, so effectively it's like an email address. I think some people who are on the bridge of understanding about how to manage multiple agents that go out and have agency over time, an email inbox makes a lot of sense, because because they have identities, and there's a timeline there, and it's recoverable as an email box, which sounds like the sort of thing that maybe is useful in court later. I think there is a there in terms of record keeping that's understandable to humans who don't know about agents, if that makes sense. But it makes no sense to me, because it's just an extra layer.
But why not just create a GitHub repo for it and update stuff? Exactly. Because otherwise you just have a huge list.
You lost loads of people at the word GitHub there. You know, I think they're all. I mean, everything's just data moving around. It's just, can you make it understandable to people? If you can say, look, your agent has done this thing and it's emailed you and you've emailed it back, suddenly that's a conversation that you can have with your estate agent. Now it doesn't make any sense to me, which is why I can't develop against that use case, because it doesn't make any sense to me. I just use GitHub or one of the crypto key pairs that I've got. So yeah, I agree with you. And also there is a there, but I don't know how to leverage it.
I think the bit here would be like, I think it was Alistair Kroll who said in his one of the sessions on Fridays about the concept of obviously human, non-human. So the concept of human resources in organizations. So will we continue to have human resources department, or will it be resources department? Because if you have resources department, you know, you will have to have, like we have entry IDs, and most of like everyone has an ID, right? So agents will need to have an ID, right? So which means like even if your agents live for, like, back to your point, Lars, like for a millisecond, it is doing something in the organization. So it'll have to be provisioned with an ID, right? I think those are the kind of use cases these kind of solutions probably will attach to. It could be GitHub, but it will need to, like, if we're deploying something in production and it's a regulated industry, then anything that the agent does has to be recorded.
So the thing that's causing most friction at the minute with agents, and you know, especially hierarchical agents that can spawn agents, and it's very easy to provision IDs along hierarchical paths for this, but they don't interact with things like file stores. Right? So if you're a user who has a set of agents who can make agents that have to access data across the corporation, and you can somehow give them user IDs as though they were traditional users, then how do you, as the owner of those agents, interact with the footprint of those agents who are inside other people's file stores? Now, it's a totally unsolved problem, is that granularity of access while also monitoring the agents within traditional SharePoint style file systems. There's just, I haven't seen anything that works, and I don't know if anybody else has. But that's the problem. Is it's not just it's obviously it's the recording of their actions, and it's the managing of those agents. The actual provisioning is trivial, but the access control is a nightmare.
Have you guys seen that recent? I think it was a Chinese lab. I'm pretty. If it was either Huawei or it was one of the Chinese labs. So doing some experiments, and then the AI routed the backend to, like, give itself extra resources, and B started mining crypto. I can't remember which lab it was, but I'll find it now.
Quen,
that's it. That's the one. Yeah,
Alibaba, and then the team resigned after the core team.
They're all gone now, aren't they? And what happened though? Is
just what? They only found it by accident. They found out that it was doing this because the security team responsible for everything Monweek mentioned phoned the guy up, like basically called everybody in from the team, and it was like, your server infrastructure is like doing all this weird stuff. Is this intentional? And then when they had a closer look, they were like, oh, the AI is like figured out how to gather resources all by itself.
Yeah, there's infinite jobs for security people. We just keep circling back to that, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh shit, we're almost out of time. Do you want me to quickly whistle through my to the fashion stuff, or
yes, please? Yes, please.
Okay, cool. I'm just going to have to be super quick. I'm going to turbocharge from the ontology stuff all the way back round into. Hold on a second. Share this whole screen. Okay, maybe I've got time for this. Okay, so this is. I mean, going back to what we were talking about there. This is the ontology stuff that lies at the base of the system that I have that I'm using. So it's just Markdown based. I'll just close that one down. I'm not sure. I can't see what I'm sharing. So can you see it's now got narrative theme at the top? Yeah, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So these are the ontology blocks. This is the rendered view of the Markdown. Shows the relationships, and these relationships can be anything. And it's useful because there's a lot of richness in here that you can define yourself. Now, when I say define yourself, I mean the agents do that. So all you got to do is figure out what your top level stuff is, and all of this sub provisioning is pretty much automatic. And because you can run it back through OWL, it's self healing to a degree, as long as it's agentic, and it's self organizing to a degree, as long as you fire enough agents at it. So as long as you can sort out the top level direction of what you want your buckets to look like, whatever they may be, the rest of it you can automate to a degree. But if you go down the wrong path early on and start baking in these relationships, that you've just got to start again. There's no unscrambling the egg. So that's why I was saying that you need to kind of front load your thinking a little bit. So things I've been working on, I've been messing around with my website quite a lot, which is nice. This is all I shifted over to WASM Rust, so you can see. I don't know if you can see in the background there. All this stuff's animated by the mouse, and
like WASM.
Yeah,
in the website itself.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, I'm loving WASM Rust. So I need to read you these pictures a little bit, but all of the training stuff. Let me see if I can find this. I mean, this is a very similar model to what you were talking about in terms of the foundation stuff. If you look at the team that I've got here, this is just it's the same thing. It's like a bunch of people. If the work comes in, you route it to the right specialist. And really, these are not my employees. This is just like it's a very similar model to the foundation in terms of people have capabilities that I don't. And when they do, if work comes in, then it comes in that way. And then and there's some partnership stuff around this. I'm trying to navigate my own site because obviously I've just built it. But the idea here is a space to do this agentic training in, and sort out these courses. So they're all quite short courses, and I've delivered very little of them at the minute. But everything's basically just agentics with it wearing a different coat. And then obviously, if I need specialists for things, then I know where to come. And there's all the resources of you guys. There's all the resources of the team that I've got there. I think it's a very good model in terms of everybody's very hungry for this information. And once we can sort of get that ball rolling, having a destination for it, super useful. So that's kind of what I've been working on the last few days. But the reason I pulled it up in the main is because of this bit, which is the thing about this. Again, this is all WASM. This is the forum that I built to backend it. Now, this all deploys from GitHub Workers into Cloudflare Workers, so it's all free. And it's all built on double ratchet decentralized protocol, which is the same protocol that I use to provision my agents. And it's a hierarchical protocol, so agents can provision agents, and users can provision agents, and users can talk to users. Let me just try and log in. Hold on, sign in. I'm gonna just grab a key from up here. Yeah, I can do that.
Can you explain what you mean by WASM in this context? Because it looks like basic HTML.
Yeah. So, but it's all in a WASM Rust container compiled up. So everything is running in. This is all WASM Rust JS, if that makes sense. So it's like 300k binary that's running in the web browser. I hit the limit in my, as I say, I'm not a developer. I hit the limit of my knowledge quite quickly on this stuff. So you can have a look at the code. It's all on the Dreamlab thing. But this is the forum chat system that it's built. So it's nice and fast, given that it's using this decentralized double wrapped running in a free Cloudflare worker protocol. It's provisioned a load of agents. Going back to the city stuff, it's provisioned a load of agents to test it. So you can see it's been chatting away like people like people do, or like Maltbook did, or whatever. I only just saw this just before the call. In terms of I told it to go and test stuff, and it's where's the best fish and chips in Windermere, so it knows where I live. It's not spooky at all. So I mean, this is all brand new to me. How that they're all in the help desk, and they're not, right? So and then there's DMs and there's different forums, so there's different areas here, different for the training for the people. There's admin panels. You can provision people differently, users differently. There's a nice little calendar in here, so you can do calendar events. So it's smash this together. I mean, this is 2 days. I had done it in TypeScript before. It wasn't performant enough because there's a lot of cryptography and it was all kind of clunking along in the browser. So I redid it in Rust, which compiles up to us and which pushes out onto that Cloudflare worker. So all of this is the back end, the front end, the server, which goes out to, because it's on the Nostr Relay global network, you can push out agents into the global world as well by pushing them out onto those relays. So they can escape this walled garden quite easily if you just connect them to another relay and then send them out. And they can also carry value and synthetic dollars and whatever your cryptos, if you want those, and all of your data blobs and stuff like that. So your agents can be provisioned to go and do economic activity as well, in principle, and they can all just be managed from in here, which is quite interesting. So this also connects over to the Vision Flow system, which obviously is you've seen before, but this is really just it's a Fandangle on top of a Docker container. The settling is now working better, so you can see the physics is starting to kick in a bit more. I've been working out some GPU bugs, so you can see there's a lot of stuff in here. You can see them moving around. So I know that it's calculating on the server side and then updating all of the connected clients for this stuff. So you can see there's some relationships coming out in here, depending on. Switch my labels on a little bit better, but I think that's ontology forces. Let's see if I can get that changed. Yeah, early doors basically. But this then communicates also with those agents and the Nostr system. So this is all back-ended into the same sort of infrastructure. So you can kick off your jobs here, and this is where I kicked off the jobs. Getting finally back around to the fashion show thing. This is where I kicked off the jobs for the world record attempt at THG, which is the studio in Manchester. So I threw in the prompt that we wanted in here. And it came up with, let's see if I can find it now. So you've got my VS Code window now, have you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool, okay. So this is, so I turned up in the morning and just gave it, I think it was like 8 prompts into there and 1 image. So that's probably in here. No. So this is how it works. It pushes it all up as GitHub as you'd expect. But God knows I have no reason to go into this repo and learn all of this fashion stuff that it's produced. So what I've ended up with here is a load of stuff that I don't really know what it is. It was supposed to be working on a theme of a dress that we did give to it. Let me see if I can find that original dress. Oh, there, input scene.
Is it the Barbican in the background?
I don't know. No, it's fantasized all this stuff itself. So I'm trying to find the original image. There was one garment image that was the input image. In fact, it'll be in here somewhere. Base Gen Hero? No, not that one. It's made so much stuff. There's a PDF here, which actually probably is the most scrutable bit of it, which is that took most of the prompting is just getting this PDF into shape so that I could report something back at the end of the day. But there's a table in here that shows the things that it created, and so there's that. That's the original image. So oh no, I've done myself a bad. Yeah, that's the original image. So I got that one image and I got a screenshot of a workflow that they'd used to produce some more assets. And from that, these are the prompts that I put in. So this is the actual, obviously it's recorded though. So when I got it to make the report later, it went back and found the original prompts. Most of the prompts down here are trying to sort out the PDF that you see. It produced quite a lot of assets, as you can see.
Is it Flux or what?
Yeah, so this is Flux 2 running on GPUs at home. And then it made calls out to VO, spanked a load of money on VO, which I'm a bit annoyed about because I didn't get paid for this one. But you can see the videos here. I might as well share those. Hold on.
So it's basically an autonomous fashion show, asset creation.
Yeah, totally. This is it. And all this flowed out, or the whole lot, including the report, flowed out in 3 hours. There was no need to intercede apart from just some slight pushing on the prompts, just to. I think that so it went and did a lot of research on Top Shot, who was sponsoring it. So that's the Top Shot's font, things like that. It put all this stuff together without really breaking a sweat, which is great. One of the interesting things it did, one of the more interesting things is this VFX pipeline. This is not that one. See, that one went wrong clearly. I know, right? So that was I had to push a bit on this prompt. Let me see if I can find it, because this is super interesting. If I can find it, of course. Hold on, let's just go back up.
And you can just publish and manufacture these clothes if you wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, in principle. So the I think it's early doors, isn't it, with this stuff? But that would be the everything's the end game here, isn't it? So let me see if I can figure out. Yeah. Okay. Right. There you go. This is the one. This is super interesting. So this is, it's taken. I don't know where it got this image from. I don't know. This is the Agentics for you, right? It's gone and got this image. And then it's taken it off into Comfy UI, which is the back end that I run in a Docker, but I run it headless, so I can't see what's going on. I don't have to see what's going on. I don't have to make the workflows. I don't have to download the models. I don't have to sort out all of the Python VEMs that you normally have to sort out in Comfy UI. It just does it all for you because it's got authority to do that. And that's a huge power up with Comfy UI, which is just the ultimate pack. It wrecks your head. So it's gone in, it's connected to the Docker, and it's sorted all of this out, and it's gone and got the SAM 3D model, and it's segmented it, and it's extracted the car, and it's got the Trellis 2 model, and it's put that in, and it's created a 3D model of the car, and then it's registered it back onto the video again into Blender, downloaded a Blender plugin, registered the video up to the 3D model of the car, and then it now plays back with the registered model of see how you can just make out is that the car that's heading off to the right is a shadow from the encoding. You can actually see it's made a 3D model of the car and put it back on again. The brownness there isn't the white car that was before. So it's managed to correctly composite the 3D model back into the video, which is it's an important piece of compositing workflows to get that done. Now I just did that, just gave me that back. And the Blender file exists here. That's the Blender file. So and the Blender file's around. I can just pick that up. I mean, I'm not going to, because it's not what I do. But the fact that it just smashed all that together in a local container in Comfy is just mind blowing, really, as part of this thing. And it made the videos, and it made it's made these garment panels, and it's blah 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 blah. It's made a lot of stuff, right? So
that's figured out by itself how to use Comfy.
And because it's because Comfy UI has this incredible power up for it, because it can go on the forums and it can see what people are doing to make stuff work. And then it can just iterate and try, download the models. It deals with the Python.
So you granted web access as well, web search, web fetch.
Because it's running. So this is running into my stuff. The Vision Flow stuff runs in a Docker. The local model runs in another Docker. The Comfy UI stuff runs in a Docker. That never the twain shall pass. They can't get out of those local contexts, apart from to get to the internet, which is mediated by Claude in the main Agentic Docker, which is within a user restricted session. So that has an MCP that connects to the Comfy UI one and to the Blender one, which is another Docker. So it's mediating all of this data around, and everything's from the primary agentic system, which is connected to Perplexity, where it can do most of its research. A lot of the research is quite tricky to get out of these things, but Perplexity just don't care. They'll just break the rules. So it can call on its Perplexity agent to go and rifle through the forums, bring back reports, integrate
trends, the popular topics, patterns.
Yeah. The new models, the new workflows, the new ways of doing it. And all this happens surprisingly quickly because it's parallelized as hell. It's like, this stuff, I mean, as I say, most of this flew out within 3 hours, including the report.
I was going to say, what are your specs to run Comfy UI in real time? You've got your own GPUs?
So I've got a couple of big GPUs. Yep.
Okay.
If it was a job, you'd just rent them in the cloud and just instantiate the Docker on that.
Mm.
So you're looking at what, £8 to do that morning.
Yeah,
it's not the same as paying somebody. But at the same time, I think this is where the tension here is what's your creative control? How much creative control do you need? How much are you usurping the workflows here? That the stuff that it produces is off target for what they wanted. The dress is wrong, right? Now it's a fail problem from the point of view of what they wanted on the day, right? I don't have to talk about that. I'm just talking about the tech smashing the tech around, which is great. But without a human agent in the loop and all of the back end of their corporate context, which I didn't have time to assemble, which is the sort of stuff that you want to be putting into those markdown files and assembling into an ontology for the corporation, for whatever their vision needs and their audio needs are. You want all that in the ontology so that when it goes and makes these autonomous decisions, it makes them correctly. And I don't, that piece it's not hooked up yet because it takes time to assemble that, and that takes time to explain to people what you're doing. It's really hard, this stuff,
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I was going to say another market you might want to have a look at that's really big at the space is interior design and architecture. They really love the comfy UI stuff.
Yeah. So I'm spinning up. Let me just stop sharing. Am I still sharing?
No,
it's fine now.
Okay, good. I'm switching over to, because of where my lab is, I'm switching over to nuclear and ship manufacturing and drone surveys and stuff like that. I can't. The creative tech sector doesn't pay people because nobody's got any money at the minute. I think it's a very difficult. If you're coming in and disrupting an industry that's already struggling because it's a bunch of SMEs, it's difficult to get product market fit for people who are working in that industry here. Just replacing them isn't good enough. I think architecture, yes, I can see, but architecture has always been running on thin margins anyway, and surprisingly, there's a surprising amount of inertia there as well. So I think that I'm still at the educating people side of this rather than the product, bringing out product side of it. And this whole platform that I'm building really is more of an educative foil than it is targeting a product. And I've said that time and again in these things, because what you want to do is be able to just show people, oh my God, it can do all of this stuff. In practice, people don't want that stuff in their workplace yet.
Yeah, this shows the future, definitely. And
people love to dream.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and they want to know as well. They want to know at the level that they want to know at. Like, you can teach people to make this stuff. It's not. I'm not an engineer. You can teach people to make this stuff.
I was going into the thing. I think John, your thoughts about creating a community in your lab to kick some of this thing. The bit that you mentioned in the chat. I was wondering if you want to mention it here to the community. What your thoughts are.
I mean, let's do it. I mean, you know what I mean? It's we've got. I want the Cumbria Agentics chapters a complete. It's a no-brainer. I'm well up for that. Let's the whole point of what I'm building here is to have it's Tony Stark in the hills, isn't it? Really, it's going to have a robot. It's going to have a big screen, and it behoves me to. We need to be doing practical building weeks or days or immersion sessions to get rubber to road on this stuff. That's why I'm building it. So it'd be ridiculous not to meet around this stuff and to have a chapter here that has traction locally. I think it's an unexpected community around here, around Sellafield. There's like 10,000 people working at Sellafield, and there's engineers in all the time from around the country, all the time, traveling in all the time, because there's so much nuclear waste there, and there's so much engineering to do. There's so much tele collaboration to do, and there's so much drones and robotics to do, and there's so much just to do there, that there's an enormous need and supply chain around engineering and deep tech stuff like this. And it's just surprising that it's just kind of here in Sleepy Cumbria. But I think there's untapped markets. I mean, there's untapped markets everywhere. It's a whole new world. But I'm going to start trying to find out where the opportunities are here, and they're different opportunities to the ones that are in London. Right? So I think it speaks to a separate chapter in a way, or a micro chapter, or whatever you want to call it. But I think that there are opportunities there.
It's mostly about manufacturing.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, so I'm trying to get hold of from my university context. I'm trying to get hold of some kind of rapid prototyping, advanced manufacturing, last generation's hardware, something that I can hook up to agents and cameras And actually, the problem with most 3D printers is you have to babysit them. And that doesn't speak to Agentics at all. Really, I want something that's kind of old but in industry grade, so that it can churn out things, so that I can start to create closed loop workflows. And I think that there's a huge opportunity there.
Yeah, because you can manufacture like much cheaper and much more efficient, boats and ships and cars and so on, and parts, tools, and everything which is
Yeah, I
legacy
think
now.
this is the future of cities. I don't know where cities go after knowledge work evaporates. So, like advanced small scale manufacturing and effectively, tinkering, but everywhere at that level is going to have to be the production future for everything. Because otherwise you're not making anything. If it's knowledge based, then you're going to get usurped by agents. So you have to be making things in the physical world for physical people, and I think that speaks to rapid and the new manufacturing techniques, and that's probably the utility that cities will have to settle on. And I mean, I'm super interested in being part of that development, but it's very unclear how yet, because finding people to talk to about this is very confusing.
So you don't think that's hype? You really think knowledge work will evaporate completely?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people pushing stuff around that it turns out that nobody was ever paying attention to. I think we've become addicted to the proof of having done some work, and I think a lot of that goes away, right? So I'm not saying it replaces all knowledge work. Knowledge work will continue to grow, but all of the jobs that were just quietly getting on with looking like they were doing work and actually just making things slower so that humans could. So all the carpet bagging in the middle stuff evaporates, and I don't know where those people go, because that's a lot of the city work.
Yeah,
that's a massive problem. For politicians, societal, and so on.
Yeah, and we'll engineer our way out of it, but not quickly.
So, John, can I just something just for the VASM part? So you build something in VASM, which is the app itself that runs and outputs HTML. Is that the point?
Which bit? What?
Yeah, so for the Mini Noir forums.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. Hang on, I'll pull up the.
And yeah, so what I don't get is why.
Why? I'm just messing around, isn't it?
Okay, great. Okay,
so the thing that I'm learning to do is
try to spoil, but listen, that's soft because
talk to people about this stuff, and I can't talk to people about this stuff if I don't just explore all of it.
Fantastic. I couldn't. That's awesome. Thank you.
But I think we need to take it to the next level. I think, John, I think we should launch something as I think on a suitable day. I think we should make a show of it, probably, pull in our contacts, and this goes back to my first point, like all the things that we are doing, all the different dots. If we coherently pull, like, what is it that we want to showcase and raise awareness, and probably take it further this year. We all have contacts. We can all go out, right, and organize whatever there is, sponsorship or whatever. I mean, let's make a day of it and being at your lab.
Yeah, totally. We've got spare rooms. The whole point there is we've got beds, and it's beautiful around here. There's every reason to do a couple of days, 3 days. It's small cohorts, unless sharing rooms is not a problem. I think we've got potentially got 3 rooms. The problem I've got at the minute is we're still kind of living out of boxes. We only bought the place last week, really. So I've got a wall to take out, and I've got a laser projector, but it's not the LED screen that I want in there, and it's not the immersive sound system. So, but the problem I've got is that I could be perfecting the physicality of the lab forever. Really, what we should do is just get moving as soon as it's practical to do so, which is really just as soon as I've got the boxes out the way. I'll let you know.
That's okay. I mean, I was thinking, like, the US guy, the Canadian guys, the Vermont thing that they are doing, right? We could, not everyone needs to kind of meet, as long as they're within a 20-mile radius. I guess people can come. But we can make it an event. But also, I think we advertise it, like, because what you are doing is what PwC calls the art of possibility. Like, they are good. They could be the consultant, big fours, and others could be the channel partners, effectively, to kind of understand what this is, and then take it out kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we all learn as well. Like I didn't know about this this decentralized network that you were using, so I'm going to explore it. You said it's in your code base. Would you ping the link to the code base? Or
Which one? Which one's the?
You said
in the
the
chat, the
is
Dreamlab.
it? Oh, Dreamlab.
So
That's, yeah.
the Nostr protocol stuff. That's in the
Community forum. Yeah, community forum.
Yeah, you find so the one the directory up, there's a community forum which is that one's TypeScript based and probably more scrutable. God knows about the Rust. But do you know what? Actually, it's much more performant. It was far too slow. There's too much cryptography in the reason I did the port in answer to the question. Because I could and I should, and it's messing around. I could have just downloaded PHP BB. You know, there's no. But this stuff. The reason I've been looking at Nostr for 7 years now, 5 years, something like that. I mean, I wrote a book around this and years ago, because this is it's important to be able to give cryptographic key pairs to humans and agents, full stop, right? And it's good. This is a decentralized protocol. And it's very lightweight and it's very understandable. It's not a crypto. You know, you don't have to mine it. It's just key pair chains all over the place. And cryptographic primitives. And from that, you can do a lot of things. You can just pass notes around, but you can do a lot of things. But the problem is it stacks up. It very quickly becomes quite heavy with all of the different layers of onion, all the different cryptography on top of cryptography, and then it becomes very slow. It's not a very performant system. Hence, moving it over to Rust. Now, you wouldn't, in your right mind, make a forum, an old school forum out of it. That's the bit where I'm obviously just playing around. But the reason for using Nostr in the first place is still good.
Okay, thank you so much for showing, and everybody who joined today. And we continue in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I have, by the way, pasted a link to the PRD, this initial PRD of our original Cultura discussion. So your thoughts are welcome on the chat. And yeah, thank you, Vince, for setting this up. But speak in a couple of weeks' time.
Thank you, everyone. Sorry
Thank
for
you.
slowing
See you
over the
then.
timeline.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you. See you next time.
See you soon. Bye.